Now, this question gives you two structures. One is oxospores and heterosis. We already know heterosis are seen in cyanobacteria for nitrogen fixation. So, we are not bothered about this part of the question. We wanted to know what are oxospores. Okay, first point. We see oxospores in diatoms. That means I am speaking about Chrysophyta protista. And we see them in sexual cycle of diatoms when they perform sexual reproduction, because Monera protista will reproduce asexually or vegetatively a lot, like binary fission. And what are they? The word auxere means to grow. This is a Latin terminology. So it simply says spores. Oxospores means spores for growth. Then why a diatom wants to grow during sexual reproduction is a point. Oxospores are also called as rejuvenating spores, because the word rejuvenate means to become young and replenish. So, in the life cycle of diatoms, we see a condition where it loses its cytoplasm. You should not forget they are unicellular eukaryotic. It loses its cytoplasm. It produces oxospores to replenish cytoplasm. Now, why will it lose cytoplasm and how will it replenish is the story of oxospores. Very unique, very peculiar and very interesting to know. Now you see, this is a diatom. As you are seeing, what we are seeing this container like structure, a dabba, a box, is nothing but cell wall. Is nothing but cell wall. So the cell wall is also called as frustule. All of you know this. We did this. And the frustule is made up of the upper half called as epitheca and the lower half called as hypotheca. So, when a diatom undergoes vegetative growth means binary fission. One cell will give rise to two daughter cells. So, epithecium will go to one daughter cell. Hypothecium will go to the second daughter cell. Here what you are seeing is the second daughter cell. The epithecium will go to one daughter cell of the cell wall and hypothecium. The daughter cell which receives the hypothecium will develop a cell wall which is smaller than that. So if you see the blue color hypothecium in the parent cell, in the second daughter cell, the blue color hypothecium has become epithecium and it synthesizes a smaller half than that, which is called as hypothecium. Now again this will undergo a binary fission. This epithecium will go to one daughter cell. The hypothecium, this ink blue color, hypothecium will go to the second daughter cell. Then again this daughter cell will synthesize the half which is smaller than that. Now which was hypothecium in parent cell is becoming epithecium here, and it is developing a new hypothecium. Again this will give rise to two daughter cell. Okay, and the second daughter cell will get the hypothecium, and it will synthesize the hypothecium which is smaller than that. So if you see, of every binary fission, there is one daughter cell which receives hypothecium will develop the other half smaller than hypothecium. So gradually the blue color hypothecium has become epithecium in the second generation. The dark blue color or ink blue color hypothecium has become the epithecium, and this lavender color hypothecium has become the epithecium. So if you compare their sizes of four generation, you can see the fourth one is very small. This happens with only one daughter cell. The one which receives epithecium will be of same size. The daughter cell which receives the hypothecium will develop the other half smaller than the hypothecium. So gradually the daughter cell decreases in size, and there comes a situation where the cytoplasm is too less for the size decrease to survive. Then it takes a call for oxospore. Okay, as of now in this video I discussed how it loses cytoplasm. During binary fission, the daughter cell which receives the hypothecium, because they synthesize the second half smaller than that, will gradually diminish in size generation to generation, and the cytoplasm becomes too less that the organism may die if it does not replenish cytoplasm. I am going to make another video for the rest of this cycle diagram. Please watch that to understand oxospore.